another day of the week. Welcome to the Friday edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. I am fired up for today's show. Big basketball show. 8 total picks across college hoops and the NBA. So my string of 3 winning days came to an end there yesterday. A 1-2-1 effort from myself. Personally, shout out to the LA Kings coming through as a nice dog for me. But winning show overall. Ian did the heavy lifting there for us yesterday. 4-2-2, a rare 2-push day for the fellas. So we're going to try to bring that winning energy right back into today. So let's bring him in here, my co-host for the day, Mr. New York City. Big t-shirt guy lately. Ian, I notice you're wearing a lovely gray undershirt today. Is that the shirt that you slept in last night, or?
It isn't, and I actually meant to put on like a nice sweater over top it before we went live, but as you can tell, I've clearly forgot.
Would it kill you to, throw it in the dryer maybe for a couple minutes before coming on air with us?
It's a clean shirt. Well, it's a clean shirt. I told you, I meant to put on a nice sweater. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Presentation matters in this business, Ian. You look like you just got out of bed, goddammit. But you have been feeling under the weather, and he is on the mend. He is coming around for us. You're at the right time because we got a big week coming up next week with March Madness kicking off. So, okay, let's get right into it here. 8 total picks. Let's get right into that action. We're going to start things off in Philadelphia, where the Trailblazers are in town. A couple player props today. Let's start off with Tyrese Maxey. 25 or more points, plus money, plus 145 on this one. So Maxey has got his groove back, averaging 26.6 points per game here in March. 10 more than his average in February, where he seriously regressed. So bouncing back big time here. 25 or more points in 4 of those 5 games here in March so far, and this is an absolutely great matchup to go off in. Portland is getting absolutely cooked by opposing guards. Last 10 games allow him the 3rd most points, 5th most threes, 6th most free throw attempts, and 3rd most points in the paint. Likely see him score in many different areas tonight. I like him to continue his hot streak. Maxey, 25 or more points, plus 145. Okay, Ian, your first pick of the day. What are we looking at?
First pick of the day, Big East semifinal action tonight. The first of 2 games, it is UConn and his Marquette. I'll take the Huskies minus 3.5. Took the Huskies yesterday. They're up by approximately 1 million points. Didn't cover the minus 7 though. Well, they pushed. So no chance of a push tonight though, because it's minus 3.5. We got the hook. Let's start off with rebounding here. UConn, one of the best, in fact, the second best rebounding team in the entire country, grabbing 56.6% of boards. Marquette, one of the worst, 305th in rebounding, only grabbing 47.5% of boards. Just look at the last time these 2 teams played. UConn had double the amount of rebounds as Marquette. Rebounded them 48-24. If they do that again tonight, I think there's no doubt they win and cover. And also, both these 2 teams are 3-point shooting teams. They rank inside the top 75 in 3-point shot rate. The Huskies a lot better at defending the 3, though, 11th in opponent 3-point field goal percentage. Marquette's 281st. And also, UConn is getting hot at the right time. They had that slump in the middle of the season, but over their last 10 games, they're 9-1. And over their last 3 games, they have an effective field goal percentage of 59.8%. That's an increase of 6.2% compared to their season average. Give me the Huskies minus 3.5 tonight. Yeah.
Ian bringing it today. No excuses here in our pre-show meeting. Okay, back to the NBA. My favorite spread bet of the night in the NBA. I like the Lakers as a small dog at home versus the Toronto Raptors. Lakers coming in at plus 1.5. I think that the wrong team is favored in this one. And the Lakers are really stepping up without LeBron. People thought their season was over. Not so fast. A winning record in the 5 games without LeBron, both straight up and against the spread. They're playing fantastic defense in the 5-game stretch without LeBron. Second in opponent EFG percentage in that span, compared to the Raptors, who ranked 26th in that category. The number one three-point defense in that 5-game sample size for LA versus dead last for Toronto. And this could be decided at the free throw line where LA appears to have a pretty big edge. 7th versus dead last in free throw attempt rate over the last 5. 2nd versus 26 in opponent free throw attempt rate in that span as well. Both favoring the Lakers. Give me LA plus 1.5 over the Raptors. Ian, next up, what do we got?
Next up, we're looking at the SEC tournament. I'm going to take Arkansas, very, very small underdog, even money to defeat the Texas A&M Aggies here. Texas A&M already not a good shooting team, but their shooting has gotten even worse lately. 42.3% EFG percentage over their last 3 games. That's 6.9% lower than its season average. Arkansas, everyone always talks about how good Texas A&M is defensively. Arkansas not only can hang with them defensively, but they actually outrank them in defensive efficiency, coming in at 30th compared to the Aggies at 59th, which leads me to my final point. I think this Razorbacks team is just underrated as a whole, 8-10 in SEC play, but this team, when you look at their stats, they have no weaknesses. They're very good defensively. They can hang with anyone in the conference, and I think they're undervalued from a betting standpoint. So I'm going to take a shot on the Razorbacks as a very small underdog to defeat Texas A&M.
Right back to the NBA, back to Lakers Raptors, and back to another player prop. I think a beautiful number on this one. I like Anthony Davis, 30 or more points going off at even money. So stepping up big time with LeBron out. AD playing elite basketball, starting to look like a top 10 basketball player in the NBA. All of a sudden, could get injured and could fall apart at any moment, but when he's on the court, playing pretty damn good. So he's played in 4 of the 5 games that LeBron has missed. He's averaging 33.75 points per game in that span. He's top 30 in 3 of those 4 games. He's getting to the free throw line a lot. Double-digit free throw attempts in 3 of his last 4 games. Easy pickings at the free throw line versus the Raptors, who ranked 26th in opponent free throw attempt rate for the last 5 games, playing some dirty, undisciplined defense. Give me Davis, 30 or more points. All right, Ian, let's keep rolling. What are you looking at next?
Looking to the other Big East semifinal matchup here, Creighton Xavier. Going to go with a total bet this time. Going to go over 152.5. Let's just sit back and root for points in this one because these two teams are 2 of the best shooting teams in college basketball coming into tonight. They rank 9th and 26th in effective field goal percentage. They also both played a pretty fast pace, coming in at 32nd and 88th in field goal attempts per game. And also, both teams are hot from three-point land. Creighton is a three-point shooting team, and they've shot 48.8% from beyond the arc over their last 3 games. Xavier doesn't shoot the 3-ball quite as much, but they should do it a little bit more because they're actually 4th overall in the country in 3-point field goal percentage, and they've shot 44.2% from beyond the arc over their last 3 games. So both these teams continue to shoot this well from 3. I think it's going to soar over the total. Creighton Xavier over 152.5.
All right, back to me, my final pick of the show. I got to start ramping up my college hoops betting coverage here, so let's get right into it tonight. The SWAC semis going on, the battle of the Tigers, and I like gambling on Grambling. I like gambling on Grambling. Better late than never, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, Grambling State, I'll take them -5.5 over Jackson State here. So the ass-kicking tour and the covering tour absolutely continues for Grambling State in this one. 10 straight wins, 9-1 ATS during that stretch. All as a favorite, by the way. 5 straight wins by 12 or more. This team is absolutely peaking at the right time, and they have Jackson State severely overmatched in this game. Check out these stats. Opponent EFG percentage for the season. 7 versus 269. In favor, of course, Grambling State. Then look at these numbers on the offensive side of the ball. Jackson State will not be able to hang here. Jackson State, 318th in EFG percentage offensively. They're going to have a lot of trouble putting up points in this one, as they tend to do. Ranked 301st in floor possession this season. Give me Grambling State to cover it and move on to the SWAC finals. All right, Ian, bring it home for us. What do we got next?
Final pick of the day here. Looking at the Big Ten tournament, I'm going to take another very small underdog. I'll take Maryland, the Terps, plus 110. I got them at against Indiana. I think they match up well stylistically against Indiana here. Indiana tries to bully teams down low. They're 10th in two-point shot rate. Maryland has the size to shut them down. Also, Maryland outranks them in one of my favorite stats for college basketball, which is extra scoring chances per game. Takes into consideration things like turnovers, offensive rebounding, all that stuff. Maryland comes in at 69th, whereas Indiana is 261st in extra scoring chances per game. Well, it wasn't a joke. To be honest, I don't know what sound effect I wanted there, to be honest. And let's look at the previous meeting between these two teams, and you'll see a path to victory here for Maryland. Maryland beat them 66-55 in that meeting. Indiana had 12 turnovers. Maryland only had 5. But the big thing was Maryland had 29 free throws in that game. Indiana, like I said, they try to bully teams down low. It doesn't work against Maryland. Indiana ranks 214th in fouls per possession, and Maryland does a fantastic job at drawing fouls, 23rd in opponent fouls per possession. They match up extremely well stylistically against Indiana. As I try to close out this pick, give me the Terps plus 110.
The Terps. So when I did the gambling on Grambling, I was looking for the laugh track sound effect.
Yes.
Do we have that, Tito? The laugh track? He's scrambling trying to find it. The laugh track? Maybe? No?
Just the turkeys.
No.
We
got to laugh. I like the turkey one. We got to get rid of the drum one. When someone makes a lame joke, everyone uses that. I like the laugh track. Ian and I, we challenged Tito in our pre-show meeting. We got to come up with some new sound effects, we said. We talk about this often. We said a max of 3 woos per show. And I was going to be pretty conservative. I challenged him, say, come to us with one good addition Monday morning. And he beat me to it. He said he's going to have 5 to present to us on Monday morning. So I'm hoping at least 2 of those 3 will make the cut. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube right now, do me a favor. There's a like button right down there. There's a subscribe button right down there. Give those both a smash here for us on this lovely Friday morning. So something I want to give you guys a little bit of betting advice here. If you're in the great state of Massachusetts, legal sports betting starts today. And there's probably going to be a lot of people like, hey, I want to get the experience of getting a bet in for the first time. And I can guarantee there's hundreds of people, big baseball fans, that are going to go waste a lot of money and put a bet in on the Boston Red Sox to win the World Series. Do not do that. Do not waste your money. I know you'll go into one of these sports books, and I don't even know what the Red Sox are. What are they, 50-1? Oh, if I put $10 on that, I can win $500. Do not waste your money. There's probably a lot of people in the great state looking to do that right now. You want to do Bruins? Okay, I can understand that. I wouldn't advise the Patriots. Celtics have a pretty good case. Do not waste your money on the Red Sox. If you're in the great state of Massachusetts, you're looking for a sports book, if you want to tail any of our action, I highly recommend placing your action over at BetMGM using the promo code VIBonus. Get a first bet offer up to $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win. That's a VIBonus, all one word, no spaces, for a first bet offer up to $1,000 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win. Just use the code VIBonus. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sports books. Yeah.
Bang! Bang! It's good.
Yeah, Red Sox 60-1 to win the World Series. They might finish last. I think the Orioles are better than the Red Sox here coming into this season. So let's kick around a couple different topics here, Ian. We're going to start with what could be pending news, I guess, of Aaron Rodgers potentially going to the New York Jets. The owner, head coach, Nathaniel Hackett. They all flew out to California to meet with Rodgers yesterday. They came out of the meeting saying that they feel optimistic. Well, I doubt they were going to come out and say, hey, the meeting didn't go very good. But it looks like sportsbooks are expecting Rodgers to sign with the Jets here, too. You take a look at the Super Bowl futures odds board. The New York Jets have the 7th best odds to win the Super Bowl. If you ask me, that is completely fucked. That is an incredible overreaction. You got the Jets ahead of the Ravens, the Chargers, the Packers, the Jags, Lions, teams like the Dolphins. The 7th best odds for the Jets? Did no one watch Aaron Rodgers play football last season? Did we not realize he's coming off one of his worst seasons ever? All I heard was people make excuses for Aaron Rodgers all season long. Aaron Rodgers turns 40 in December here, later this season, and Tom Brady has completely distorted everyone's view of the aging quarterback. You think Aaron Rodgers is going to bounce back the season he turns 40 years old? Quarterbacks, they don't bounce back at this age. Remember, Peyton Manning fell off a cliff. How about Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers? Tom Brady has distorted everyone's view. Now, to be completely fair, yes, this is an upgrade. It would be an upgrade at the quarterback position for the Jets. Pretty much any rostered quarterback in the NFL would be an upgrade at the quarterback position for the Jets. But here's my thing with the Jets. I don't understand why they're not in on Lamar Jackson. That would be like a long-term answer. You're going to get Aaron Rodgers. The Jets presumably want a first-round pick back. Rodgers is going to play, what, 1 or 2 more seasons? Lamar Jackson is going to play another decade. Stays healthy, I guess. But one other part of this that I don't understand is, what would the appeal to Aaron Rodgers be to go to the Jets? I think Aaron Rodgers would be a lot more appeal to going to a team like the Raiders, where he can play with Devontae Adams. You think he's excited about playing with Garrett Wilson? That's why I think people keep throwing that out there. Oh, imagine him with Garrett Wilson. You think Rodgers, how excited was he to play with those young receivers in Green Bay this year? Not excited at all. He didn't want to put any work in with those guys until it was too late. And by the way, have you seen Aaron Rodgers in a big game lately? A must-win game? How did he look versus the 49ers in the playoffs a couple of years ago? How did he look against the Bucs in that game, the NFC title game? Oh, yeah, how did he look in that must-win game as a favorite versus the Detroit Lions, win and get into the playoffs? Didn't go very good. So as a fan of the Dolphins, an AFC East rival, I really do hope that they end up getting Aaron Rodgers, because I don't think it's going to go very good. So, Ian, what do you think? A bit of an overreaction to have the Jets at 7th on the odds board? Are you kidding me?
That's a steal. They should be 4th. Should be the Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Jets. You know I'm a big Jets defender. And what
you
did
think
why,
the Jets should have better odds than the Bengals?
Yes.
And
to answer your question, why Aaron Rodgers want to play in New York as opposed to Las Vegas, Aaron Rodgers has never played with a good defense his entire career. It's why he only has 1 Super Bowl. Now he's a chance to go to the Jets, who had the 2nd best defense in the NFL last year, 2nd in opponent yards per play, 2nd opponent points per game.
They didn't play anybody.
Only the 49ers. Only the 49ers had a better defense than the New York Jets last year. They were a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl team last year. The fact that they're 7th on the odds list with Aaron Rodgers about to sign with them, I'm in. I've already placed my bet. I got him at like 25-1. Jets, Jets.
God. That is such a waste of money. The Jets? They suck. That defense is overrated. They didn't play anyone. Congratulations on beating up the Tyler Thompsons and Mac Joneses of the world.
They didn't play anyone. What do you mean they didn't play anyone?
The Jets' defense is over. The Jets, what is the appeal? Aaron Rodgers, yeah, I bashed the guy, but what is the appeal for him to go to the Jets? Nathaniel Hackett? people act like Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett go on vacation together every offseason. Nathaniel Hackett came and had a cup of tea in Green Bay where he wasn't even the main offensive guy. He was the head coach. I think Nathaniel Hackett's a big selling point. Hey, Aaron, here's the laughing stock of the league. Nathaniel Hackett, he's going to be your offensive coordinator.
Yeah, how'd Aaron Rodgers do without Nathaniel Hackett last year? Not good. Sure, Nathaniel Hackett.
I think Devontae Adams had a little bit more to do with that than Nathaniel Hackett. Are you kidding me? It's kind of funny. Devontae Adams' production doesn't drop off at all when he goes to the mediocre Derek Carr. Yet all season long, everyone wanted to make nothing but excuses for Aaron Rodgers. These young receivers, Aaron doesn't trust them. Is he going to trust these young receivers?
Devontae Adams got to play under offensive mastermind Josh McDaniels, so of course he didn't drop off too much.
Oh, you're being sarcastic now. These takes you're throwing out about the Jets and Josh McDaniels. Aaron Rodgers would be a lot more. Well, if he's such an offensive mastermind, then Aaron Rodgers should want to go play for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. I've talked myself into a corner on that one.
Oh, my God. I hope he ends up on the Jets. He doesn't like the media.
I.
He is a malcontent. You think he wants to work with these young receivers?
Yes.
Jets should be all in. The Jets completely, they're morons. They should be in on Lamar Jackson. They want to make a big splash. Okay, moving on. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, I think Lamar Jackson might be getting completely screwed here. You guys know I've had a lot of talking points against him. You know, he hasn't stayed healthy. But when he is on the field, he's absolutely one of the most dynamic players in the game. And it looks like he might be getting screwed. And rumblings about collusion amongst owners. Lamar Jackson is getting screwed here because of the money that Deshaun Watson got. He's getting screwed because of the money that guys like Kyler Murray got. And, there doesn't appear to be a leader for, which team he's going to end up on. Now, we kicked this around the other day here, Ian. I'm not going to go all in on it, but I think the Washington Commanders are absolutely nuts not to be involved in talks here for Lamar Jackson. That's a team that's had a revolving door at the starting quarterback position forever. And I also think whatever team, if the Raiders, if they're not in on Aaron Rodgers, do the Raiders want to go in? What are they going to do? Get Garoppolo, who can't stay on the field? Draft Will Levis? I think the Raiders would be a fun spot for Lamar here potentially too. So where do you ultimately think he ends up?
Well, first of all, I'll say one thing about Lamar Jackson, which is something I've said for a couple of years now, is the guy needs to get a fucking agent. Like that's what's screwing Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have an agent. You can't do this. You can't. An NFL player cannot be his own agent. It doesn't work. It's never worked. It's not going to work. But he's probably too stubborn to get an agent at this point. So I don't know how this is going to finally end up and go down. I still think he ends up in Atlanta. I know they were on the list of teams. That was what was that earlier this week? It was like for 30 minutes. It was like you're getting ready to announce that he's going to be traded to Atlanta, and then like it came out that oh no, they're not in on him whatsoever. I still think they are. They tried their best to get Deshaun Watson last offseason.
Yeah.
And now they're not going to try to get Lamar Jackson. I don't buy it. I still think he ends up in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think one of those teams, man, in the NFC South, that division is wide open. And I know Derek Carr, he improves the Saints. I know that we are in agreement that we think that the Saints underachieved last season. Statistically, they were a pretty good team, but, they got bit by the turnovers. Some of those a fault of their own. But a team like the Commanders, I mean, they're not too far away in that division. The NFC East. So, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully when we come back here on Monday, we'll have some more news here with Aaron Rodgers and Lamar. And let's not forget about Jimmy Garoppolo as well. We'll see where he ends up. Maybe he ends up on the Raiders and teams up with Josh McDaniels again. So one last NFL topic that we want to throw out there. We put up a poll actually on the Vegas Insider Twitter feed. These are odds being offered at a major sports book right now. A ton of great draft odds up right now. And we're going to be all over that. But these are the odds. Of course, we know the Bears own the number one overall pick right now. But they are likely to trade it for a team that's in need of a quarterback. The Bears likely to pick the best or the second best defensive player on the board, probably. But which team will make the first overall selection in the 2023 NFL Draft? The Texans, who currently own the second pick, minus 125. Panthers, plus 200. Colts, plus 225. And then the Bears, plus 900. Now, do I think the Bears are going to trade that pick? Absolutely, I do. But they currently own it. And if you can place a bet on them at 9-1 to hang on to that pick, who knows? Maybe they don't get what they want for that pick. Who knows? Maybe they decide to draft a quarterback. I think that's a bet you should make today. Not a big bet, just a 1-unit bet. At 9-1, are you kidding me? But ultimately what I think is going to happen is the Colts will be the team to trade up. I think, they've gone with the Band-Aid approach at quarterback post Andrew Luck here the past couple of years. Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz. They got to start with the young guy here. So I think that if they could get their hands on Bryce Young, I think that would be the move for them. So, Ian, what do you think of those odds, and who do you ultimately think will end up with that top overall pick?
I couldn't agree any more with what you said, Joe. I don't really have anything else to add. I think the Bears are worth a bet at 9-1. I think those odds are kind of crazy, and I also think the team that's actually going to draft first is the Colts, because Jim Irsay loves to get a guy at quarterback. He's not going to run nobody out there and some bum. So I think it's going to be the Colts that are going to select first. I totally agree with everything you said. I have nothing more to add to this topic.
Yeah, your Falcons 15-1, Raiders 12-1 could be a candidate to move up.
Yeah, the Falcons.
They got to be super, super desperate. Like, that was a disaster last season, and you just let Carr walk away for nothing, essentially. And like I said, what are they going to do? Draft Will Levis? You're going to go into week 1 with Will Levis?
Oh, yeah.
Will Levis a little bit here, and even Jimmy Garoppolo. You can't trust him. The Raiders have got to be in on Rodgers, Jackson, or trading up to get that number 1 overall pick. That is a desperate franchise who play in a pretty tough division. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So I want to touch on a couple NBA-related topics. So, of course, it's kind of funny how the reaction to this, Kevin Durant's injured again. And this barely even registers as news anymore because Kevin Durant gets injured all the time. So they announced, the Suns announced on Thursday that Kevin Durant will be out for at least 3 weeks while rehabbing a sprained ankle. Lines him up for the start of the playoffs, I guess. But this might be a rare W for the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe they got out at the right time. I mean, they had no other choice. They got a pretty good player back in Bridges and some draft picks and some depth type of guys. But like I said, another lengthy injury for KD. This barely registers as news anymore. The Suns fan likes to claim that they're a cursed franchise, and I think that they might be right. This might not work out for them. This might completely screw them, both in terms of playoff positioning this year and the future, because they gave up a lot, and KD misses a ton of time. This is a guy who turns 35 here later on this year. So he missed all of the 2019-20 season. He played in 35 games the next season, 55 the next. He's only played in 42 this season. It looks like he's only going to play in 42 regular season games this season. So I don't know. I don't know if Kevin Durant's going to get that ring outside of being a Golden State Warriors player. Just those injuries catching up. And one other one I want to point in here. I saw this about Zion. I think it was an NBA Central Twitter account. Give them a follow. So Zion Williamson is only averaging 28.5 games per season. 28.5 games per season since entering the league. Of course, we know he missed all of last season. When he's been on the court this season, he's looked good, but he's been out for a while now. So my question to you, Ian, will Zion end up as a bust? Because he came into the league as the biggest prospect since LeBron, the most hyped prospect since LeBron when Zion came into the league. Now, a lot of Zion defenders like to point out Joel Embiid, who missed a big chunk of time to start his career. That's an outlier. Blake Griffin missed a big chunk of time to start his career. How's his career turned out? Yes, he's had some good seasons here. But these big, tall motherfuckers, heavy guys, 250 pounds, they don't tend to get healthier with age. You know what I mean? They tend to break down the older they get. So what do you think? Is Zion going to be viewed as a bust when it's all said and done?
Yeah, I think he will be. Do you remember in his last season, or I guess his only season at Duke there, when he was playing, I think, against UNC, and his shoe blew up in the middle of the game?
Yeah.
I think that was kind of some foreshadowing. That was like a bad omen for how his career was going to go. So yeah, his shoe busted, and now I think he might be a bust with all these injuries, because it doesn't really even seem like it bothers him, which is kind of weird to say. And I'm sure it does a little, or I'm sure it does, but it just seems like he's just like fine with missing time. Like he's never in a rush to get back. He's just like, yeah, I'll just chill. I don't know.
There should be some extreme urgency from this guy. Like everyone's making this big deal when he came into the season. Like he missed all last season. He comes into, Zion's looking ripped. He dropped 15, 20 pounds. He's in great shape. Congratulations. You play in the NBA. You should be at the height of health and physicality. They do this for James Harden. Oh, James Harden's looking thin. You play in the NBA. You're making $35 million a year.